Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Shelby and today we are making a candle. So we are making a really yummy smelling orange candle with essential oils. Now I'm not gonna lie to you, I am like straight up in no way, shape, or capacity a candle making expert, but my friend's pretty good at it and she gave me some advice and we are making we're making plans for a candle making party, but we haven't done it yet. So I don't quite know what I'm doing, but she gave me some pointers and I want to jump the gun a little bit and make some for myself. So you guys know I am a teacup fan. I just like the shape. I think they're cool. You might have seen my teacup bird feeder. If not, I'll link it above. That one's green. This is a very similar teacup. So it's blue with the white pattern, gold edging. It's got a really cute matching saucer that's like a deep blue with a gold edging. So this is gonna be my candle. So basically what I'm gonna do is glue the teacup to the saucer just so it's stable. And then this is gonna be a beeswax candle. So I have my beeswax. I will link this below in the description along with my socials if you guys want to make something similar. The thing about beeswax, from what I've been reading online, is that it's kind of actually an air purifier. Like a lot of, I didn't know this, but I was reading up on candles because I love candles, and I guess a lot of them aren't so great for the environment you're breathing. They release like toxins. I guess some wicks have lead in them. That was like such a huge, like, wow, okay, maybe I shouldn't be burning lead in my home moment for me, but apparently beeswax works as an air purifier. So I thought, this is great. Like, I'll just make my own candle and it will be beeswax and it'll help clean up the air, so that'll be perfect. Side note, if you guys like my necklace, this is my solid perfume necklace. I'm on a kind of essential oil kick. So I did this recently, like a week ago, but if you're interested, I will link it above, and it's basically a solid perfume necklace with a few essential oils, also the beeswax, and it's just a really pretty locket that is a great way to house your perfume. So I'll link that above as well. Go ahead and check that out if you are so inclined, but otherwise we will get started on the candle making. So basically what I'm going to do is melt beeswax, attach my wick to the cup. I'm going to use hot glue for that. You really don't need a whole lot of craziness to attach it. You can use wax, you can use like a little bit of melted beeswax, let it dry. Basically anything that's gonna let the melted bottoms of the wicks stick to the inside of the teacup, or really any kind of candle holder that you want. Basically just something to hold it down, because I guess once you pour in the hot wax, like the hot beeswax in this case, it'll start floating up and that's not great. So we're gonna attach it down with a little bit of hot glue. And I have that right here heating up. Hopefully it's done by now. So I'm literally just putting like a dot in the bottom, not even very much at all. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna open up my wicks and get one seated in there. Just like this, so it's got a little metal housing, and I'm just going to try to center it on the hot glue, just like that. Clearly the wick is way too long for the teacup, but that's okay. It's actually a waxed wick, which is nice, so it's gonna stick straight up. Otherwise I could like put something across the top and wind it around to kind of hold it up, but I think this might actually hold itself up. So check that out. It's totally good, right? So perfect. And what I am going to do next is basically just fill my teacup full of beeswax so that I know I have the right amount. The beeswax I'm choosing is from White Naturals, and it's pellets, 100% natural, triple filtered, cosmetic grade, and apparently superior quality if the package is to be believed. But basically I'm just gonna fill it up and melt this in a double boiler, but I wanna make sure I have enough, so I'm going to fill it a little bit more than the teacup can hold and put it on the stove and melt that down, and we'll get going. Okay, so here is my honestly vase, which you guys are probably pretty familiar with by now. I'm gonna take my teacup, which honestly I didn't even need to glue the wick down at this point, but you know, whatever, first step. So I'm gonna pour my beeswax pellets in here. Basically just fill it up. And I'm not worried about the wick not being centered, because this is like definitely not where the wax is going to be settled, so it's not a big deal. And I want to put in a little bit more than the teacup can hold. And I'm basically just using this as a measuring cup. There we go. And I'm going to pop this on the double boiler and we will get this melting down. So I've got some water boiling and I've got my beeswax in my vase and I'm just going to stick it in there until it melts, which should just take a few moments. So while the beeswax is melting on the double boiler on the stove, what I'm going to do is take my teacup and my hot glue, flip it over and just pop a ring of hot glue around the base of the teacup, and this is going to secure it to the saucer. You don't really need a whole lot, just kind of a little bit. And then basically just center it on your saucer and hold it until it cools. And this is basically just going to provide a little bit of stability to your candle, which is good so that you don't knock it over because, you know, fire being knocked over is never good. So now that this is attached and stable, we will go back and basically just wait till our beeswax finishes melting and yeah, add our essential oils. That's the next step. So the water is boiling. I've got it on medium heat. You can see around the edges a liquid kind of clear barrier is forming. So the beeswax is melting. It's just not quite there yet. So I'm going to stir it up and let it work its magic. So this beeswax is taking forever to melt. The water is boiling, but it is just not quite getting there. I mean, it is a little bit, you can see the liquid stuff, but like it's taking its sweet time. Getting there, but not quite yet. It's basically a solid mass that refuses to go anywhere, but it's starting to melt down a little bit. And finally the beeswax is melting, so we're just going to get it all the way melted and clear, and then we will add our essential oil. Okay, so our beeswax is completely melted. I'm going to be adding in my essential oil. I just have orange, and I'm actually not going to be counting the drops this time like I usually do because this isn't skincare, it's a candle. So you don't really have to worry about like too high of potency because it's not going on the skin at all. Basically just add enough drops until you start smelling the essential oil scent that you want. This can be a mix or just a single scent like I'm doing, but basically just mix enough in there until it smells yummy. Okay, so the beeswax is all melted and I have my little candle and saucer set up here to the side. I have 4 coffee stir sticks, and basically what I'm going to be doing is arranging them in like a number sign pattern, just like this, with the little wick sticking out in between, and basically that's just to hold it up because it's kind of crooked right now. So we just want to make sure it's kind of centered in the candle so that this works out the way we want it to. And these are just going to hold that. The beeswax is all melted, and I'm going to grab that now and we're going to pour our candle. So this is our essential oil and beeswax mixture. It's all melted. Ooh, it's hot. It's all melted out, and I'm just going to be pouring it into our candle. There we go. And even though I definitely over measured the beeswax, I don't think I did enough because we are pretty far down. I don't want to mess up the wick, but we are pretty far down as far as, can you see that? There we go. We've got like half an inch between the top of the teacup and the beeswax, so you could actually over measure, and that is a thing, but we're gonna let this dry. I'm gonna fix the wick here, and we will let this dry, which will probably take a while. I might just let it sit overnight and check in when we're all done and see what our candle turned out as. So we've got our candle drying with the little wick setup, and you can see that the beeswax is still liquid in the center, but the edges are drying up quite nicely. So I'm just going to leave it here until it is completely solid, and then we'll see what we end up with. Alright, checking in. So the beeswax is basically dry in the center, everything's turned white, but feeling the teacup, like it's still emitting a lot of warmth, so it's definitely not completely set up yet. But we're getting there. I think I can take off my little coffee stir contraption and the wick is not at all centered, but you know what, whatever, I tried. So yeah, I think it's basically cured, with the exception of still being slightly wobbly, so I'm not going to do too much to mess with the wax, but I think I'm okay with trimming the wick. So I got my scissors, and basically I'm just going to cut this at teacup level. This is hard one-handed. There's so many things that are hard one-handed when you're trying to film. There we go. And that is basically our candle, but I am going to let it kind of cure and set up before we do our final light and all that, because like I said, it is really warm to the touch, so it's definitely not done setting up yet. Okay, so it took much longer actually than I was thinking, like a couple hours. I stopped counting after 2 and I just kind of like left it there. You can tell it's getting darker. But it's cool to the touch now, so I'm thinking it's set up. This is how it turned out. Ignore the fact that the wick is crooked. I thought I did it right. Apparently I didn't. Like I said, this is my first attempt. But yeah, overall it's super cute. Like a little teacup candle. How cute is that? So we're going to light it, and it smells amazing. It smells like oranges because I put in a ton of orange essential oil, which I'm like definitely on an essential oil kick right now, but orange is one of my favorite scents ever. So yeah, this is how it turned out. So cute. I love the teacups. I love just like this adorable little silhouette, and it's a candle. It's amazing. Like, oh, it's so cute. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the craft and the video. If you did, let me know by hitting that thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. If you want to see more crafts and tutorials and just basic what I'm up to in my life, consider subscribing. I will see you here again soon. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.